Call this meeting of the Person County Board of County Commissioners to order. If I could get Commissioner Powell to do an invocation for us, please.
If you desire, please pray with me. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for the opportunity of being here tonight to conduct the business of Person County, and may we represent all the people within our county borders to the best of our knowledge and abilities. And we would pray, our prayers for those that are continuing to suffer from the hurricane that went through our state as well as the neighboring state, and also remember the people in Indonesia that are victims of a catastrophe there. Again, we pray for your guidance and leadership. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Could I get Commissioner Perrier to do the
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any adjustments of the agenda?
Move for approval.
I got a motion on the table to approve. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. I'd entertain motion to go into public hearing to request to add Butterfly Trail to a private roadway.
So moved.
All right, we got a motion on the table to open a public hearing. Ms. Vaughn.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
An individual has purchased a piece of property and is wishing to put a home on that piece of property down a private driveway that already serves two existing homes. And so, as you know, that's third house on a driveway 200 feet or longer, which invokes our ordinance and requires that that driveway be named. We have a unanimous decision from the property owners that will be affected. They have chosen Butterfly Trail, which works with our local ordinance. It does require that two residences will have to change their addresses. The property owners are aware and will have a year to incorporate the new addresses. And both the old address on Durham Road and the new addresses on Butterfly Trail will be active in the 911 system for a year. I'll take questions.
The existing property owners, were they okay with the name change?
They had some, issues at first. They didn't understand why someone else building a home would require them to change their address, but we came to an understanding on all of those details.
Yeah, thank you.
Any further questions for Ms. Vaughn? Do we have any public signed up to speak?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Got a motion on the table to close the public hearing. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. We're asking for consideration to grant or deny request to add Butterfly Trail a private roadway. What is the action of the board?
Move to grant the request.
Okay, we got a motion to grant the request on the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Do we have anyone signed up to speak
Yes,
tonight?
sir.
We have no informal comments. Is there any adjustments of the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
All right, we've got a motion on the table to accept the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Unfinished business. Thank you, Gordon, for covering for me while I was down working the storm. The unfinished business, item number 4, Tourism Development Authority 2017-18 Annual Report. Ms. McMahon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I received an email this afternoon from Mrs. County Manager Heidi York with some information that Vice Chairman Powell had requested. So I put that together, emailed it to her to add to your iPads or whatever to help out. And one was the complete printout of all expenses for the last year that came out of the Munis system from July 1 through June 30th.
And I think we all do have a hard copy.
Yes.
Thanks for that. Much easier to read and follow. Thank you.
I'll entertain if any questions, or if you want to just keep that and review it and, okay.
Yeah, I think
But
that's
that's what
good.
you,
My only question beyond the budget would be something about your new tracking
oh, that's the
system
next thing. I
for.
got that.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I'm
I
sorry.
just wanted to make sure we got that.
Yeah, we're okay. with that.
Okay, the next thing I was asking about some analytics from our app, and I had her, I sent what I had gotten from the company Barzee Mobile Development, and this was prepared for our board meeting we're having this week, and I had asked them to do an August 1, 2017 through August 1, 2018, and this is the report that they sent back. They have to, I don't say it takes, they say it takes them a while to really put this together, so I couldn't call them this afternoon at 2 o'clock and say, put one together for me that September 1 through 2017 through 18. So I thought maybe this August would be satisfactory for y'all to review. And then I had a Habitat for Humanity board meeting at 5, so I didn't realize that I had gotten the analytics from Everwonder, and the only thing that they could do right now, this has only been, the website has been up since July 1, so they don't like to really compare month to month because every month has some kind of activities that are different. So they like to do it in a yearly span, or maybe at least 6 months. But they sent me some numbers and things that go for September, comparing it to August. And the description now says more new users are coming. They're coming from our key markets. They're clicking past the home page. They're looking at content for an average of 10 plus minutes, which means we have good contact. Total impressions for the month of September were 450,775. The users were up 52.65%, and I will have this, because I just got it came in kind of stuff, I'm going to have this sent to Heidi and let her send it on to y'all. The new users was up 54.53%. Page views were up 37.67%. Non-bounce sessions were up 22.83%. And this is users who click past the home page. The average time on the website was 10 minutes and 11 seconds, which was up 49.2%. The top locations that these are coming from, Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville area. Then it goes to Charlotte, and then Greensboro, High Point. And then he broke down a lot of analytics that I'm going to say it's really difficult for me to see on this little tiny phone that I'm going to send to you. That it shows page by page, like Homestead Restaurant got the most looks or hits than any of the other restaurants, or they went to different attractions more so, and that and I will make sure that you get that, but that'll show you more detail as to page by page of the website that people are going to and visiting. And I was real pleased today that we sent out our Blast e-newsletter, and I got an email back that came in today from a Mary Stone Lamb in Chapel Hill, and she said, "Congratulations on your very attractive website. It's definitely a winner. I didn't even know where Person County was until I got your last email. Now my husband and I will be visiting this fall. Thanks." And so we've been getting some emails and comments like that from people as they are looking at it. The chamber did a big push from their site and got like 40, I think Alicia said something like 44,000 views even though it was only shared like 54 times, 4,000 views, it was shared 44 times. But, so we know that that's, that it is out there, and the website is being used and being viewed. From the remarks and things that we get from Everwonder, we know that our marketing right now has been in the Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville area. We know that we're starting some stuff toward the Greensboro area, and then we'll go down, obviously, probably to the Charlotte area, because we have another marketing program that is touching on the states of Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. And that's done through targeted market, like with these new e-newsletters. The other thing that Mr. Powell mentioned in his email, and I will say, I surely do appreciate your understanding TDAs being such a good economic tool for the county. But you were wanting some facts on, or some kind of report on how well TDA performs in their efforts to attract visitors to our county and enhance local business. Well, on that first part, I'm going to need a little bit more direction, and I will go to my board and ask them the best way they think that we can track this sentence to come back to you with something concrete. But I do want to say that our mission statement is the mission of the Person County Tourism Development Authority is to promote the growth of responsible tourism through marketing strategies and programs that balance economic growth with the need to preserve the natural and cultural heritage of the Roxboro and Person County area. And since we get occupancy tax, technically our money should be going strictly into advertising, promotion, giving money to organizations that will bring events here that have the potential to put heads in beds in our hotels. Nowhere in our vision does it say that we're supposed to enhance local businesses. We end up doing that through some marketing brochures and things that we have going, because we feel like that we're being a good corporate citizen if we do make sure people know the shops to go to, or restaurants to go to, or other things, like that. But it's really bringing the people here. It's not just our task to promote all the businesses and all the restaurants and that. But I think you're going to see very shortly a couple of very good collateral pieces of material out that will do just that kind of promotion. And but again, I surely appreciate you being one that recognizes the economic impact that tourism.
Well, I may
does
use the
have.
wrong word there in your field of enhancing, but if we get people here.
And they
it
do,
will-
and I appreciate, and people will say, well, they're not going to spend the night, but they're going to eat in your restaurants, they're going to buy gas, and they're going to shop. And that's really good, because you know what that is? That's city, county, and state tax money. And when that comes around, that in essence lowers the homeowner's individual tax rates and stuff that they have to pay. So it's true, but it's not to say that that's one of our main focals is the business community. It's really, I think we should be doing more about helping get organizations to do events that bring people here. We need to do a better job of saying, let us help you advertise it, or let us help you come up with the idea. I know Mr. Wilkins, Jimmy Wilkins, wanted so much on this barbecue contest, and we had even talked about doing it bigger and bigger every year, and his health had precluded from doing one this year. But a lot of us have that dream of having a KCBS barbecue here, either out at Willow Oak, or have it uptown, or have it at Huck Sandsbury, somewhere that you could put that 30 or 40 cookers. But that's the kind of one of the places that we should be spending our money. Mm-hmm. But thank you. Excellent. And if there are other questions that any of you have, I'll be glad to take them down, take a little bit of time to research so I can give you a better answer than just maybe something off the top of my head, because I'd rather it be real legit. And I am going to make sure this gets emailed to you from the Everwonder. And you know, that company is also the one that is doing the video for economic development, and the one that did our video. And they're using some of our footage and some of the footage we were not able to use in our video to help with the economic development video.
What are some of the, or what is the plan, so to speak, that you have for the board, I mean, for the tourism, and, or the board has? I mean, what goals are we reaching for? I mean, are we trying to get this festival? Are we trying to get this barbecue thing? We're trying to obviously bring more people to the county, but what plan do we have to do that?
Well, you know, again, we're not the people that put on the events, and we can't say we want to have a barbecue festival and go out and ask the Kiwanis Club to do it. Now, recently, they have, the Kiwanis Club has said thought they would like to reinstitute, you know, the bicycle cyclism they used to have at Mayo. They want to do that again, probably in the fall of 2019. And I said, well, sure, there'd be grant money available to help you put that on. For one of the plans for the future, overstepping a little bit to say we would love y'all's help in this, but we would like to have a visitor center on Madison Boulevard. The first thing people see is they're driving on the boulevard and the first stop. And the board has been talking about it and what it could be done there. It could be a one-stop, whether somebody's visiting, somebody's coming through with pulling a boat, they can pull in and get some information about which lake is going to be the best one to fish at that day. Somebody that's wanting to buy a home may stop there and pick up some information. Could be somebody wanting to bring a business here, stops here and says, let me pick up some information, and where do I go for the city or where do I go for the county? But the board feels that a visitor center that has good exposure on Madison Boulevard would be a real asset. Now, obviously, it's probably something we're not going to be able to do by ourselves because of the realm of what would be needed. But there are probably ways that the city and the county could assist us in some small way to make this
Am I
happen.
understanding you correctly in assuming that you see that these monies are best used promoting other events, and it's not you all hosting an event that would attract someone, or is it against rules to use this money for you all to put on something?
TDAs and CVBs do not put on the events. You're correct. We give money to other entities to do it, but that's not to say that we like this idea of a barbecue or again the cyclism to try to find a group that would be interested in doing something like that. I know for years, you've wanted a dog show. John Hill has wanted one of those athletic type of dog runs and dog shows or something like that. So if a group could, get together with something like that, come to us for seed money, yes, sir, that's what we're here for.
Well, thank you for the extra effort and the information.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I do totally believe that TDA is an important part of Person County.
Yes, sir.
And it's one of the lenses through which the outside world views our county.
Just like
And
this lady
it's
said that lived in
extremely-
Chapel Hill, didn't know where Person County
I
was.
got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Billboards. When I go places, I see people have, we had one for South Boston on 501 for the longest at one time, about some subdivision or somewhere over in South Boston. Do we have any billboards saying, hey, here's, come to Person County and other counties or cities?
We don't right now. We have looked and gotten prices on some strategic billboards around 85 and Guest Road, because Guest Road comes, back here easily. And some of those were rather pricey for maybe for the length of time that they're there, so we were weighing the cost. But I I must say, we were only looking at Fairway rather than any of the independent billboard companies. And, you're right, we could, have something around the, South Boston area, or people coming from that, that might have a great scene of, lakes, or talk about our quilt trails, you know, and show the quilts or something like that. That if we could use an independent, that might be be something very good. And what I'll do is try to do a better job of researching independent billboards, because Fairway is the one we used. And
I just know when you go places like you go to Raleigh, you see a "Come to Charlotte" sign.
yeah,
Or you go here, you see it. So I was wondering if we had those in other areas.
Yeah, I actually remember when they put the Charlotte signs up in Raleigh, and they got a lot of free press out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was on the news media. One of the questions to kind of piggyback on what he was saying is, I'm not trying to cut Brother Dave Bratcher out of any money or anything, but what benefit do we get from advertising here in Person County? I think most of the people that live here in Person know about Person County, and I just did a quick run through of this, and we spent about $4,000 advertising in Roxborough. Can you tell me what the benefit of that is?
Okay, one of it is, we did in that, the Business Digest book it goes outside of this area. That was advertising our, app and our website, that kind of thing. Some of the other on that, the coupon thing that we did, was advertising events, and we hoped that the people would use it to put it on their refrigerator. We also last year, since we had not given any grant kind of money, they had not really asked us for any event. We paid for Parks and Rec to be for the one that they did in that coupon clip. That was, we paid their expense on that, so they didn't have to, because what Parks and Rec does for this area. But we also receive funds from them for the cabins out at Mayo. So it's just sort of giving back to what someone that gives to us.
Okay.
But I agree. And then the other thing, and this may not, Mr. Kendrick, I get a lot of folks saying they enjoy out and about on Thursdays, so you can find out what's going on. And that's what we do a lot of things, not only events, but businesses and this thing. And that's played 4 times a day during some very peak times. And again, they usually do it on Friday. And even though he offered this to us 10 years ago, and we kept doing it, sometimes I feel like that's very valuable radio time he almost could be selling. So we ought to do a little something back. But I appreciate that, I know.
Yes, ma'am.
That's kind of where I was going with the billboard, because I noticed, like at the farmer's market, we had a farmer's market billboard right above the farmer's market.
Mhm.
I don't know if you helped fund some of that, but I always thought that billboard might have been best used in Durham or somewhere else saying, "Come here to our farmer's market," or personality. You see a lot of billboards in the county for personality, when maybe it should be
Yeah.
in Durham saying, "Come to our personality."
Okay.
So that's where I was going with the.
Sure.
But I don't know if you
Good idea,
assisted or
yeah.
helped with funding those.
One of our board members, Tommy Winstead, had mentioned, that was why he was wanting us to see the cost of putting billboards on parts of 85 or 40 or close to 85 or coming into the state or something like that, that said, because he had been in a town, again, it was not saying Cullowhee, and it was saying in Cullowhee, but it was saying something about the coast. And he was saying that he thought that's what we ought to do also. So I will put that on too. I appreciate that.
And do you lease the office you're in now?
Yes, sir, we do.
Is that a long-term lease or?
It has been a 5-year lease. Our lease will be expiring the end of June, and we will be making a decision.
19?
Yes, June 2019, and we will be making a decision in March whether we stay there or go elsewhere.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
But don't you think a visitor center sounds good?
I remember that was in the strategic plan of the Person Futures project.
Pardon me?
the Person Futures Project
Yeah.
had that as one of the #1 strategies that from the group that you were
Yeah.
in.
And wasn't there some type of fruit or vegetable that wasn't a festival somewhere in the state
Yes.
that might have been open?
Yes,
That was in there too, wasn't it?
yes, it was.
I don't remember what
Well-
vegetable that was.
Well, at one time, Marilyn Newell wanted us to have a tomato festival, and I said, you know, there is one in Texas, and there's a small one, I wanna say in Salisbury, maybe every year. But I said, the reason there's not a lot of tomato festivals in North Carolina is because they, you know, it doesn't, it's like, when are they gonna be in? When are they gonna have the best tomatoes in it, at what particular time? But, if we were in Georgia, we could do Peach Festival, or South Carolina.
Any
North
further
Carolina's known
questions?
for sweet potatoes.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Any further questions?
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
New business, appointment to Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, Ms. Reeves.
Gentlemen, I'd like to present 2 student applications for consideration of appointment, that Vice Chairman Powell, along with other JCPC members, have recruited for the vacancy for a person under the age of 18. We have 2 applications in your packet, both from students. While you do have 2 positions available for persons under the age of 18, one of those is mandated participation with a state youth council. So neither of the applicants in your packet participate on a state youth council. So only one of those could be considered for the person under 18. Although I wanted to let you know that you do have not so much as a vacancy, but the ability to extend your JCPC council to 26 members. Currently you have 25. So if you wanted to consider one of these students as a citizen representative, you certainly could do that for an initial 1-year term or a 2-year term as set by citizens. But we typically have not in the past had student representatives in that manner. It's completely up to you. So I would defer to you to make the decision by appointment.
I'd like to see both of them, if we can work it so that they both, it's
Making that in the
important.
form of a motion.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got a motion on the table to accept both students into this program, one being the advisor and the other being community.
Well, one would be for the individual under the age of 18, and then the other one would be a citizen rep. Would you prefer the citizen rep to be a 1-year appointment as the student one, or a 2-year rep? One of the applications states that they are a senior at Person High School, the other one does not say, so I can, obviously, you know, they're a student of the high school, but I don't know what year, and if, you know, what their plans might be a year from now.
Do a 1-year term.
Is that agreeable?
Yes.
They can always reapply if they're interested to that. All right.
So the motion's on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
And Ms. Reeves, may I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
The Environmental Advisory Committee,
Yes, sir.
are there vacancies?
Yes, we currently have 3 townships with vacancies: Bushy Fork, Holloway, and Woodsdale.
Okay, someone's bringing you then an application tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll
perfect.
see if we can, see if he has to move or not.
Okay.
But anyway, someone should be coming to see you tomorrow about that.
Okay, perfect.
Trying to get those filled.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the hard work. Chairman's report, just wanted to bring it back to the board. A lot of times we hear negative conversations on things that we've done. I've heard a lot of positive comments from our convenience stores and stores out in the county for our movement to get the brunch bill passed through the county. Quite a few store owners have talked to me about that. They appreciate the additional business, and they're hoping that the city does not pass it so that they can continue to serve the county and the city. I want to thank Gordon and the staff for covering for me last meeting. I appreciate the fact that y'all stood in and got everything passed. So Thank you, Gordon and staff, for
You're
that.
welcome.
We appreciate it. And manager,
I don't have any report, sir.
all right. Vice Chair.
No, just maybe a reminder, I worked for some time to try to get Ag Commissioner Steve Troxler to come to Roxborough to show his face in Person County. And he will be here November 1st for a breakfast. All of you would like to put that on your calendar for that particular date. And he'll be a speaker that morning, 8:30.
Go
Hardee's. And that's going to be in the
That's probably
auditorium
true.
down here, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where to be. So anyway, I'm pleased that he's coming, and especially with his involvement over the past couple of 3 weeks with the hurricane and his duties there. But look forward to having him.
Commissioner Puryear.
Just want to give kudos to the organizers for Relay for Life. It was a wonderful event. I saw you there and saw Jimmy there. It was by far one of the biggest crowds that I've ever seen there. So I just want to, and cancer is something that I think all of us have had family members or friends face, and it's an ongoing struggle to fight that disease. But it was a well-attended event, and I was certainly proud to be a part of attending it.
Thank you. Commissioner Clayton.
I want to thank all of you all that came to the CARTAR meeting Thursday night. It was nice to have Person County representatives, y'all and the staff both. Thank you. And just so that I can have it official, I just want to thank Kyle. I mentioned a signs topic to him, and the person that's watching this tonight will know what I'm talking about. So thank you.
Had a chance to go over and speak to some Peaceful students on Constitution Day a couple of weeks ago on the importance of voting. And thanks to our Board of Elections department head over there for getting me some information to share with them about the importance of voting. Also had a 4-H advisory meeting. So they've got a lot of stuff going on. So if you got any youth that want to get involved, this is the time to give them a call and get signed up before they kind of get going on that, especially with they're starting early this year on trying to get some information out on the livestock showing and sale that they have every spring. And so then we went to Roots and Wings, Gordon, myself, and Jimmy viewed this video discussing issues dealing with our most prized asset, our children. And so hopefully some things will come out of that and some information that we'll be able to get out to the community. Then I got asked to do a welcome and congratulations to Shady Hill Baptist Church on celebrating their 150th anniversary and their 30th pastoral anniversary for Dr. Richmond, who was the pastor there. And let's see, it feels like I'm missing something because it was a busy 2 weeks.
You did a webinar on recycling.
Oh, I did. I was asked by some people I had met through the National Association of Counties to participate in a webinar to discuss kind of what we're doing with recycling here in the county and how that came about. I was supposed to give the elected officials' perspective on these people attending the webinar were people who were trying to get MRFs and things like that started in their cities or counties. And so kind of got a lot of questions on about how to approach us or your elected officials and things like that. So that went well. And then to remind everybody of the mental health town hall next Tuesday, 9 or 10? 9?
I forgot.
City Hall, you talking about?
Yep,
Pretty sure it's
10 o'clock.
Mhm.
So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
And you were a charter member of this church?
No, I go to New Mount Zion Baptist Church. I was.
I kind of messed up earlier. I want to congratulate Jimmy on, he was voted in as the chair of the CARTAR Regional Association. And Miss York for her award, Outstanding County Manager for the CARTAR region. So
Thank you all
I
for your
apologize
support
for
on that.
missing that earlier. And didn't hit my head until you said something about attending car talk, so thank y'all.
I told her she deserved a medal for working with this board, and that's what we gave her, Manager of the Year.
Thank you very much.
Hearing nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Have a motion to close. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
One of these days I'm gonna vote against adjournment, just to stay.